Hey, what's up? This is Silas. I'm going to be talking about YouTube in this video, based off of two videos. The first video is one with released by James O'Keefe and Project Veritas, and this is an American Pravda series. James O'Keefe is doing some undercover journalism, investigative journalism into different media sources and sources that produce information and give information to show that there is actually a bias behind some of these things. These things are not as unfiltered as they claim to be. They claim to be free, clear, unbiased, and everybody can come use this platform. And if they do claim to be that, and they do claim to be in the private sector, then I do think there is some violation. Might not be a violation of contract, since some of these platforms are free when it comes to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You can just use them for free. You can upload for free. You can go on there and relatively watch it for free. So it might not be a complete violation of terms of service of the contract, since there is no contract, but there is a violation of trust there. And I think it's good to find out, like in this video where you go in, somebody wearing a Google sweatshirt works for YouTube as a content curator, says that, look, we understand that sometimes the algorithm does what we want it to do, and sometimes it needs extra human work to go in and change that. He says we don't want something like Alex Jones, who he specifically talked about. And some of you may not know who Alex Jones is. He runs Infowars.com, has a very successful online presence, information presence. As he said, Infowars. He claims there is a battle for your mind, which I really do think there is an information war going on. And some people say he's more of a conspiracy theorist to the whole, like, they're turning the frogs gay, those things. And he's a really entertaining guy, somewhat bombastic in his presentation. So I do understand why some people would recoil to some of the material that he does. They'll be like, oh, what's this? You know, if they sign onto the trending page, because when you sign onto YouTube, there's a home page, which is things that you like, things that it goes over your searches, your online searches, both on the site and I think outside, because there's a relation with Google, which owns the company. And I think they do the AdWords, they do the sharing information, and then they see what you do, what you search for there, and then they give you recommended videos. And I'll come back to that later. And then the next one is the trending one, and the last one is subscriptions, which you select. So this guy was talking about trending. If Alex Jones' video is really hot and it goes around and trending, that's across YouTube. That has nothing to do with what you personally like, but what everybody else in YouTube is clicking. He says we don't want something like Alex Jones showing up on there because it will be embarrassing to us. Now, when he says that, he's wearing a Black Lives Matter shirt. So if it's a video that's critical about something like Black Lives Matter and all the related political things, that being a fan of Black Lives Matter to that point where you could actually wear it outside as emblazoned on your shirt, to do that, to try to claim that this person won't have a certain skew to a certain way on the things that he does actually allow on the site, if he has the ability to take things off and boost other things, to claim that is a complete fallacy. It's not something I'll do here. Yes, it definitely is. There definitely is a lean, a political lean to a certain direction. Now, my question is this valid? Is this warranted? Is this understandable? Is this an end to people who want to create content that, let's say, I have a series talking about my big objections with Black Lives Matter. Now, if there was any possible chance for my video to trend, if this guy came across it, what are the chances he'd be like, yes, let me just leave this to trend? Chances are no. There's a good chance he'd knock it down. But now, when it comes to this, on the secondary point is this other video that I just saw was Bill Whittle made a video called "The Business of Friendlyism." I don't know if that's an actual term of it. There'll be a link below to that video. You definitely should check it out, where he opens up talking about how YouTube has been doing this lately. They've been changing and putting certain videos in a place where you can't just have direct access to it as equal as you would to maybe just a kid's video. And that's kind of what he does in this process. He does this children's video type of thing where he does this story about people expecting to take what you have. I think it was a story about taxation, because I don't want to spoil the story. It's a short video. You should definitely check it out. It's about this girl who likes to make cookies. She likes cookies, so she bakes a cookie. She goes down to the lunchroom, sits down. Somebody comes next to him, and she splits the cookie with the person, and then that person just has more and more demands based off of the splitting of that cookie. And watching that video, I just thought, like, wow, I've been fascinated with Bill Whittle's content. He's been an inspiration to me and continues to be. And to see the adjustments that he's made to his content, even when he had his material just straight out, just political or economical videos, I would still be entertained with it. he had this thing, Stratosphere Lounge, where he just sits there and takes questions and people talk to him and he answers them back. I'm still entertained with that. But I do understand some people, that's not what they buy into. A lot of videos on YouTube, they'll have that little cutesy music, like something like that in the background going on. I don't like that format. I actually turn on a video that has music. For me, I'll actually be like, no, I'm turning that off. I'm not watching that. But for other people, most people, it's the other way around. So he does this video in this way, and I'm like, wow, that is an excellent video. The presentation is excellent. It's done in a point where a child can understand pretty much. And then I have been talking about this thing in some of my videos where I say, we might be wrong. I might be wrong in looking at somebody who has been alive walking around the world for 35 years of age, and then I think just because that person is 35, they're an adult, I can talk to them about a certain topic in a certain way. That might be a false assumption. Just the same way you can't go and see like an 80-year-old and think, okay, just because this person has been 80 means he knows a lot more about me, about everything, so that expectation. The world has changed a lot now. We have people who get to their 30s and aren't really adults when it comes to it. They might need something told to them in this mode of a child's video. And I was watching that video and I was like, look, this can be told to children. And I thought, wait, there's some topics where I personally am a child on. And this topic himself, some of the people who I can share this video with technically are children when it comes to the topics discussing that, because nobody unfortunately told them about these things when they were kids. They were probably in certain institutions indoctrinated into certain things where they couldn't understand that, look, this topic, I can't just expect somebody to do the friendly thing. The right thing is to share everything halfway, or to share everything at all times, or to expect people to be friendly to me at all times in a certain way that I dictate is friendly. And this is the sort of thing also I think that's coming with a YouTube thing. We're looking at this situation. They gave a free product, they gave a free platform, and part of the reason that people are objecting to the changes in what they're doing is because it is affecting their bottom line. People have monetized their channels, people have used it as a revenue stream, and now the changes that are being made are affecting the revenue that people are getting. And I do understand that that's a tough thing to do. That's something that I have to consider now with my channel and wondering what are ways I can monetize this, what are ways I can profit from what I'm doing with this, make this sustainable. So when it comes with that situation, you have a situation where these platforms are massive. They have massive control into it. And it goes to the point where there's also diversity hiring in these companies. As I did in the video about Google, they have diversity hiring policies. So they hire somebody who can wear a Google sweatshirt with Black Lives Matter on it and go out and boldly just say that, yes, we do this, we adjust this, and then try to claim that they're a company that don't have a bias when they clearly do. So you get to the point where this is a situation that's out there. This is the kind of environment that's out there. It's going to affect certain content. If I don't make certain content in a certain way, talk about certain topics, make certain headlines, title my videos in a certain way, it's going to affect my bottom line. It's going to affect how many people view my material. If I still want people to view my material, I have to be like Bill Whittle in this video that he did and figure out better ways to get people to come to my channel. Find better titles to have, maybe find different systems to do it, find other ways to monetize my channel, which is a challenge and makes, I think, some of the people who do it better. And in that process, I do know some people will fall off and some people won't be able to maintain that same level of interaction and entertainment that they had before, and definitely revenue. But coming back to that revenue thing, that's the incentive that they have to do what they were doing. That's the incentive that they have to complain about the changes. And that's also the incentive that YouTube has to change what they're doing. Because I'll also leave links below to this image. I was watching this thing where you go online. As I said, Google is where most of the searches are done. You search NFL, and then you, type in NFL, and then you see what's going to happen. NFL schedule, NFL results. You just open up on the front page of Google, on the search page, and it already shows you all the NFL, the entire schedule, the results from the past games, and it gives you a small little screen of a recap, about an 11 to 12 minute recap of every game. Now this is a video linked from the actual NFL video channel itself. NFL itself now has a channel on YouTube, and a lot of people that used to be broadcasting on television, on cable, on satellite are now moving to YouTube. And why they're doing this is because people have left TV. TV was too restrictive in the older forms of broadcasting, was too restrictive, had too many limitations. Yet those restrictions and limitations also gave advertisers where they could understand, if I come to watch this certain block, I know that most of the people watching are going to be the kind of people, my target audience, my demographics, and they're going to like my material. And when they see this and they relate it to the material they're watching, they'll have a positive view of what I'm doing. Now, in this NFL thing, after you watch that, it comes up with suggested videos. Now that's due to different searches that you have, different material that you have. So people are worried about, okay, if I'm doing this, if I'm searching this, and I've been talking about this topic, for example, let's say I am a Black Lives Matter supporter, and I'm searching Black Lives Matter a lot. Maybe I'm following the current kneeling, protesting. I decide to watch a clip of the team that knelt, and then it comes up, and then there's a video of mine maybe being critical about Black Lives Matter, and that comes up and shows up in there. That person might not find that to be too positive of an interaction and kind of recoil to that. So that's why I think they're deciding, okay, let's curate and try to select what kind of material comes on here. Let's curate and see, okay, we want to have as many people not get triggered by our material. And unfortunately, this is what happens. This is why YouTube came to be, because TV itself was not giving a product that people wanted. People wanted things faster, people wanted more selection, people wanted more, I don't want to say edgy, but material that wasn't TV ready, that wasn't sanitized enough for that platform. So they decided to go to this. So with those two videos, those things kind of made me see, like, yes, now we know this is happening. Now what do? You check out new platforms, things like VidMe. I think there's something called Library that's coming up with a form of kind of like Bitcoin. It's like encrypting videos in that way. Not Bitcoin, what is it? Some blockchain technology for uploading videos online. So there's different platforms coming up, and as I said with the Google video, if Google keeps hiring for diversity, if that's what starts being on these channels, then eventually people will go to different places and try to find different things. The same reason that a lot of content creators, myself included, are concerned with what's going on is because we understand that there's so many people on that platform available. So we have so many more reasons to publish there, because that's where the eyes are. That's the same reason that companies like NFL, companies like ABC, companies like Disney are looking like sanitize this so we can have access to these same people. That's the same way that YouTube is saying, we're not the customer of YouTube. We're the people trying to produce things on there. Where are they getting their money from? They're getting their money from advertising. So they're trying to also monetize their platform and get it to a way where they can use it. And just the last kind of comic book reference I'm going to throw in here is I do understand another thing with comic books again is I've seen certain channels just talking about comic books, talking about the changes that are going on in there, and you see this sanitization of things going across. People are like, look, why aren't more adult topics being discussed in this? Why is this being put to the certain social justice warrior level type, social justice whiner level type, basic, let's not offend anyone, milk toast type of environment, type of material? Because once you start getting things where so many people are just coming into that platform, unfortunately, they do have very low standards of fear, not fear, but they have very low triggers. They will get triggered very easily. So I do understand that those changes coming in. Now, the analogy that I wanted to use was, I do understand it's kind of like a situation with Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a superhero that uses webbing on skyscrapers. So for him to do his best work, he needs skyscrapers. He needs to swing around between these skyscrapers and save people, and there's more danger happening there. But the same reason more criminals go to the big cities, because there's more targets, is the same reason Spider-Man goes there. And also the same way, if there's a new superhero coming in and it's already Spider-Man's turf, it's tough for Spider-Man, for that superhero to compete with Spider-Man and what he's doing there. He may be benefited from going to like a smaller town and trying to stop the small crimes there. But at the same point, Spider-Man is used to using the buildings. So if Spider-Man went to like a small town, or just came to like here in Nairobi, in the suburbs, where there's no tall buildings to swing around, what does Spider-Man do there? Does Spider-Man stop being Spider-Man? Does his abilities, does he lose the need or the want to do what he does? No, but his abilities are hampered. So I do understand the switch happening between there. There's been a bit of a ramble of a video, but okay, so essentially I do understand they're doing negative things out there that are negative to some people that they consider positive. And I personally think that, hey, this is what's happening. It's good to know that material. And now we adjust from there and see how to go forward. I have a VidMe channel. I'm trying to do things on mine, trying to do the things in different ways, trying to monetize my channel in a different way. And I'll keep you updated on some of those things and see where it goes and follow this story. But yeah, till next video, like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye.